everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Magic Show. In this episode, I want to go over the top 10 best Magic the Gathering moments of 2014. So let's get to it. First, I want to start with the runner-ups, the honorable mentions. Ah, yes, the first losers to those who actually made the list. Let's check out some cool stuff and note that links for all this are in the description. We'll begin with the era of silly playmats. Custom playmat printing has finally hit its stride, and there are a huge swath of amazing playmats posted this year. Take, for example, the Jurassic Park Toy Story playmat, or the Nick Cage Classic in honor of Hornet Queen being reprinted in Magic 2015. Papers, Please, one of my favorite games, got a 6 send-up playmat giving all glory to Arstotzka, as it should. But let's not forget Hymn to Doge, one regal-looking design. But the best custom playmat from 2014 had to be the Waffle House menu. Decided upon and ordered very late at night, just as it should be. 24-hour Greasy Spoons in Magic, well, it's like Siege Rhino and Standard up in here. If you haven't finished a tournament in a Waffle House or a Denny's late at night after the store closed, you haven't earned your Spike Stripes yet. How about the Rock Gods? The gods of Theros aren't just ruling the plane, they're rocking the multiverse with their own style of musical mayhem. Whether it's Phoenix, god of sick beats, or Nylia, god of the trombone, they all got their share. This even spilled over to Planeswalkers, as Soren, Solemn Rocker, takes the stage. Speaking of gods, did you see Athreos in German? Oh yes, do you got to Uberfart? Because man, I got to Uberfart, seriously. But what about Gotham? It's not the mana you need. It's the mana you deserve. Seen the MTG lookalike threads? There are a few out there and they're all super fun. Seriously, Skin Shifter is Nicolas Cage. But let's keep going. Pensive Minotaur, while being the Herlooniest of Minotaurs, is also hilariously memed in Why Is Leg? And further by its 8-bit version. Animated cards became a thing this year, and they are all sweet. Many made by Reddit user Abelzumi, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing in some fashion. These lands are incredibly interesting ideas that continue with mock-ups from other users. I mean, how freaking creepy is this Grave Titan? Matched only by the sweetness of the animated Launch the Fleet and Laboratory Maniac. Super cool. Do you play Cards Against Humanity? Then you'll definitely want this PAX exclusive Cards Against Humanity custom card, only distributed there. Do you know Eric Klug? I'ma let you finish, but he is without a doubt the best MTG Alterist of all time. And he did some amazing work this year. Trust me, this is only a small portion of it. Like his full art Geiger Elish Norn. The Karn Liberated Iron Giant, a movie you needed to see at least once, by the way. How about 8 amazing Black Lotus altars? Or let's take a look at the Picasso Jace. No, that's not enough Jaces. Let's look at 32 of them, all of them fantastic. I mean, he made He-Man Jace the Mind Sculptor. He-Man! His website info, like all the other links, in the doobie-doo. Alright, last one before we get to the official list. Magic artist and part-time heartthrob Noah Bradley made his new Desert Twister into a Sharknado while you weren't looking. Yep, there it is. That's Shark Dough. And now, the list. Number 10, the entire MTG storyline synopsis. Magic lore, and I mean the entire lot of it, is convoluted. It's a bit tough to understand exactly what is going on, what characters are from where, who died and who lived, who died and who came back to life, and so on, and just what was the Brothers' War about anyway. Well, Seth Weinstein over at Fireside Magic has condensed the entire Magic storyline to a short 10-minute read covering everything from Yawgmoth to Urza, the Mending to the Eldrazi. It's all in there up to the point where we are now in Khans of Tarkir. It's a pretty refreshing take on the entire mythos of our game, and you'll do well to check it out. Number 9, the best Magic unboxing of all time. My fellow YouTuber Open Boosters outdid themselves on October 12th as they opened a sealed alpha starter deck. Check it out in this short clip.
At 8 minutes in, will it be the Lotus? Oh wow, it's Tropical Island. Dual land, there we go. And then the other one is, holy boosh! That's the freaking Black Lotus! Holy God!
The best pack opening of all time? Not closed. He just opened a 9.5 Gem Mint Alpha Black Lotus according to Beckett, and God knows what it will pull at auction. While the $27,000 number was thrown around the web, as pristine as this pull was, I'd expect at least 35 grand or more. Just amazing, and it promptly went viral as your mom and relatives all linked you to the crazy thing they saw on BuzzFeed about Magic. This video has now been watched over 3 million times. Number 8. Commander 2014. Commander officially entered its yearly cycle as of 2014, and the player base braced themselves for another wave of true name nemesis. Specifically, the idea that an incredibly powerful legacy or vintage-worthy card is buried in one of the Commander decks, forcing all of the others to be worth much less as a result. For those who remember Betrayers of Kamigawa, this was also known as the Rat's Nest Precon problem, as it featured Umezawa's Jitte, and the other precons, well, didn't. Anyway, Commander 2014 brought us brand new planeswalkers like the long-awaited Frey Elise, and now had a special line of text allowing them to be your commander as well. This flavor upgrade came with incredibly varied decks that were fun to play and featured no single all-star deck that would outsell all the rest. Affordable and fun, Commander 2014 delivered. Number 7. Conspiracy. Sometimes I wonder how many tangential sets or products begin with what if, like, what if we just made a set designed for multiplayer drafting of all things? Easily the weirdest concept I've heard for a Magic set, ever. Conspiracy was a true test of pushing the boundaries, and while Wizards juiced it with cards like Rout, Brainstorm, Dak Faden, and more, this turned out to be largely unnecessary. A brand new card type, Conspiracies, debuted with this set and they were an instant hit. The cards that affected the draft itself, such as Cogwork Librarian, were also home runs, as drafting had never been so much fun and never had the act of drafting a card affected later picks or the point at which you drafted it influenced the gameplay itself. Wizards has noted this as being a success, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Conspiracy continue in 2016 and beyond. Number 6. M15 Guest Designer Cards. For Magic 2015, Wizards of the Coast tried something they've never done before, inviting other game designers to try their hand at designing Magic cards. And the results were spectacular. In this batch, we got Genesis Hydra, a tournament mainstay for months, along with limited bombs like Goblin Kaboomist and Spirit Bonds. A total of 15 guest designers were included, 14 from the game industry, and you, the Magic player at home. You make the card return for Magic 2015 and gave us Waste Not, an interesting enchantment that looked to be quite powerful, but ended up being just a footnote for M15. Regardless, having cards created by Minecraft's Notch, aka Marcus Persson, or Penny Arcade is a huge boon to the game and did its job of hyping the Corset incredibly well. Number 5. The Magic the Gathering movie is announced. While this may ultimately go down in the top 10 worst moments of some future year in Magic, right now the hopes are high and the possibilities are endless. They've got writers, producers, and even Magic R&D helping out to make it work. God knows it couldn't possibly be worse than Dungeons & Dragons. My only hope is that they don't embarrass us or the game in front of the world. The idea, of course, is that this will be a huge multi-film franchise for 20th Century Fox, and it will be Lord of the Rings meets Hunger Games money, with us Magic players benefiting all the way. Of course, it's still in development, and just because it's being worked on doesn't mean it will actually happen. To give you an idea, Warner Brothers have tried to make a live-action Akira no less than 4 times over 12 years. The fingers are crossed. Number 4. South Park Plays Magic. In the episode Cock Magic, the boys find themselves playing in seedy basement Magic tournaments with chickens. It's cockfighting with Magic cards, mostly there to support a ridiculous subplot featuring Stan's dad. One you must see to believe. It still brought a ton of interest to the game and also showed us Gadnuk, Breaker of Worlds, while getting Kenny McCormick an official invite to the Pro Tour. Regardless of the silliness, being featured on an incredibly popular show like South Park is a boon to the game, and maybe a Breaker of Worlds will appear in real life soon enough. Number 3. Khans of Tarkir. This set has it all. It brought back Onslaught Fetchlands to Modern, reprinting these gems for the first time in 12 years. The community lost its collective mind and players everywhere rejoiced. But that's just the beginning. Khans of Tarkir also shook up older formats with Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, and Jeskai Ascendancy, the latter creating a true instant win combo in Standard for the first time in years. Not to mention Standard and Modern All-Stars like Siege Rhino and the flavorful and powerful Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker. This set has done amazing things in Standard, as the metagame keeps shifting and no true best deck can stay on top for long. Khans Limited is a terrific experience, and anything from 2-color to 5-color is possible thanks to the mana fixing and morph mechanic returning. The power level was pushed and the player base could feel it. This set is bananas and is definitely one of the top 3 things that happened to Magic this year. Number 2. Underground Dojo Keyboard Cage Fighters. So in 2014, we had a few high-profile suspensions, and the most famous of all came from Mr. Trevor Humphreys. After after discovered blatantly cheating on camera and subsequently banned for 4 years. He went on a now infamous Facebook rant where the term underground dojo keyboard cage fighters was unleashed. Used to describe those who were championing good, clean magic and keeping the cheaters at bay, the term was quickly adopted and loved by the Magic TCG subreddit responsible for bringing Trevor down. Later suspensions including Alex Bertoncini and the stripped Rookie of the Year Jared Betcher solidified the silly name. And rest assured the underground dojo keyboard cage fighters are still out there, just waiting to catch the next one. Number 1. The new block structure and death of the Corset. It can't be overstated. The way Magic sets are being released is changing for the first time since the late 90s, and we need to recognize how big, impacting, and awesome this change really is. Standard is unlike the animal it was many years ago. With an incredible amount of tournaments, coverage, and analysis happening, releasing one block of 3 sets, then a core set, then another block of 3 sets, it just had to change. Not to mention second sets normally suck, and I'm looking at you, Born of the Gods. And wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to strangely cater to the new player and old player simultaneously with core sets? It sure would, and Wizards has finally unveiled their long-laid plans of releasing blocks in 2-set increments, rotating Standard faster, and killing the core set with fire. That said, I'm positive WotC will go all out for Magic 2016, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who wants it to be called Omega, because if you're going to start the core sets with Alpha, I'm just saying. So that's the list. Of course, this is just my list, and I'd be happy to hear what you think I may have missed or should have included. Big thanks for watching, and to Joshua Rhineheart for sponsoring the show at the executive producer level on Patreon. Remember to like, subscribe, and support me on Patreon so I can keep making videos just like this one. So until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
I always like the fatties.